Okay, so in this episode, we're going to talk about the why, right? Because the big question for us is not what are we doing, but the reason why we're doing that. So I'm going to quickly turn that over to Katie and ask her, why is it that you want to do what we're doing, helping special needs families?
People ask us that all the time because they say, gosh, you guys have so much going on and your hands are so full and, you're dealing with so much still in your own life. Why would you already want to step out and help other people? And my why is because that's what I wanted. And at one point we did have a set of mentors who helped, and it was amazing. And we hired coaches for a number of months, and it was just exactly what I needed to pull myself up and out of feeling like I was living in an emergency and get my head on a bit more straight with some tactics and techniques. And since then, I have learned so much more. And I have met so many inspiring people who are also special needs parents. And since then, that void of feeling lonely has been filled. And so my why is that I want to help bring everything I have learned through the years of hard knocks and the years of learning to cope and the years of sadness and loneliness. And I want to bring all of that to other families who may be where I used to be and who need that person to turn and help by, sticking out your hand and saying, here's the next step. Like we were blessed to have for just a short amount of time, but that opened my eyes to, wow, this is needed out there. And so to me, it's worth it. I wanted someone who was still in that phase that I was in, not someone who was done and had forgotten. And we're right in the thick of it still, and we haven't forgotten. So that's why now is the right time for me.
Yeah. For me, it's all of that, and my 2 cents is a bit unorthodox here. I'm going to invite you into our bedroom in around mid-2013 at 2 o'clock in the morning. Our infant son is about 6 weeks old or so, and he started having a choking episode in the middle of the night and couldn't breathe and was turning blue, and it was terrifying. I was on the phone. I was calling for the ambulance, and Katie was doing the best she could to clear his airway, and I could just hear her praying, and it was very tentative. We didn't know if we were going to lose our kid that night, and so it was a very punctuated episode of feeling helpless. And it's bad, right? If you fast forward a year or so after that, I was transitioning out of the Navy, and it was hard to find work because the government had a hiring freeze, and a lot of folks were saying, "Oh, you're overqualified," and the special needs problems were building. The finances were getting really strained because of trying to find a job, being without there for a little while, and health was starting to suffer. It was taking an impact on relationships, and in the first example that I gave you, that was very acute. It was only one night, and then everything was fine the next day. But in this example, it was going well past a year, and then a second year, not the unemployment, but the difficulties, and there didn't seem to be an end to it, and bad news just followed bad news, and it followed bad news, and our systems were keeping us afloat, but it took a long time because of everything that was out of our hands was making such an impact on us. And then we got to the point where we were able to turn the corner and things started to get better. And as a result, we got to a place where we felt good, like, okay, we've got a good hold on this. And, there are families who are like us. They hadn't hit that point yet, and they're going to need some real help. And quite honestly, that's what we're here for.